Hey, today we've got great news. Sony confirmed they're working on a Helldivers movie. Not only that, we're going to take a look at the Helldivers 2 contract. We'll also check out the latest galactic war map status, and there's so much more. If you can, make sure to click the like button below, share the video out, and consider tapping the subscribe button. It's completely free, and make sure to turn on notifications. And with that said, let's get right into the video. Starting off, we have to go over the latest movie announcement for Helldivers. Last night, I was sitting there scrolling and saw the news broke about a movie from several sources, such as Wario and Jeff himself from the Game Awards. Nonetheless, during Sony's CES 2025, they announced a Helldivers movie is in the works. The head of production, Assad, spoke at CES and said this: "Looking ahead as to what might come next, I'm excited to announce we are working with Sony Pictures on developing a film adaptation of our amazingly popular PlayStation game, Helldivers 2. Now, there's no word exactly on who is going to star in the movie, yet so far we know it's confirmed and will be arriving at some point down the road. Nevertheless, a few hours passed by and Pilstead wrote this about the movie and said, "You all said you wanted a Helldivers movie? Well, there you go." In response, I wrote, "Hey Pilstead, hopefully you can answer one question that I have. Do you guys at Arrowhead have any say or input about the movie?" And unfortunately, he hasn't responded just yet, but there's about 16 upvotes or hearts or whatnot, so we'll see if we get a reply about that sooner or later. With that said, who would you like to see star in the movie? Post a comment below and let's talk about it. Also, side note before we continue forward, if you're wondering, does Arrowhead have any sort of involvement with the Helldivers movie? No, as of late, doesn't appear to be the case. There's a player that asked the community manager Baskineer if Arrowhead is figuratively breathing down Sony's neck about the movie. In response, she basically said, "I'm not sure which, if any, conversation H is involved in about that. It's definitely exciting for us though." All in all, there might be some involvement, and Baskineer may not have information regarding this, or she's under a non-disclosure agreement to not reveal anything until it's said and done. Putting that aside, did you know you read a contract when enlisting to become a Helldiver? Me neither. I decided to replay the tutorial for fun and found out that the ending has a contract. First, I want to pinpoint what I meant a few seconds ago. Right here towards the bottom it says, "For the purpose of the elimination of doubt, the enlisted spending 1 second within 15 meters of a copy of the contract shall be interpreted as the contract being read." Yeah, so keep that last part in mind. There's a section here that specifically states, 3.2. Any information made known to the enlisted outside of operational parameters, which is not considered customarily known to the general citizenry, and or which was not known to the enlisted prior to the commencement of this agreement shall, for the purpose of clarity, be considered controlled classified materials. For the access of controlled classified materials explicit, advance written consent must be obtained by the enlisted. 3.3. To read these terms and condition in full shall be considered a breach of clause 3.2. A moment ago, the bottom of the contract said that if you're within 50 meters, it will be interpreted that we read the contract. So, how far is 15 meters? We can actually tell right here. I'll mark a spot and you can see we're within 50 meters. So yes, you have read the contract without even knowing you did. Pretty much once you have completed the training and entered the last room, you have basically read the contract. You absolutely have no choice, and I thought this was kind of humorous. Also, there's another paragraph worth mentioning. Right here it says, 6.1. The enlisted consents to personal information, including but not limited to biometric, patriotic, and demographic data to be collected and processed by the enlister. The authorized command structure, appropriate agents of the Super Earth Armed Forces, and Democratic Council. The enlisted consents to personal samples, including but not limited to flesh, bone, and blood, to be collected and processed by the enlister. The authorized command structure, appropriate agents of Super Earth Armed Forces, and Democratic Council. 6.3. The enlisted provides unequivocal and irrevocable consent to use of experimental weaponries, technologies, and narcotics. 6.4. The contract shall be considered binding upon reading, in whole or in part. Yeah, so whatever's inside the experimental infusion booster was probably not tested well, considering, well, one, it says experimental, right? And also right here it says that Helldivers have to use experimental weapons, technologies, and yes, narcotics. That includes the experimental infusion booster. Everything that Super Earth is providing to us is most likely experimental. On top of all that, we're also handing over biometric data as well as personal samples. You know what? Maybe the cyborgs were not wrong after all when they left Super Earth. Wait, what the Okay, yeah, I'll be right back. So it turns out I'm actually wrong, and you know what? The cyborgs did something very bad back then on Super Earth, so just disregard anything that I may have said. Anyway, if you enjoyed this part of the video, consider tapping the like button below and let me know if you knew about the contract or not. Moving on, the latest galactic war map changes have been crazy as of late. What you'll see here is what it looked like previously. First, you can see the Automatons took over Helldiver, the Illuminates have invaded a new sector. Meanwhile, the Terminates are on the right side. They're just chilling over there doing absolutely nothing, which, by the way, doesn't seem right, and something has to be cooking beneath the gloom. Now, fast forward hours later, the Illuminate invaded Bellatrix, then moved on to Botan, all in the same sector, by the way. On a similar note, there are a lot of Helldivers that have been diving on either Helldiver or Tarsh, since those two planets are on the recent major order, and we absolutely have to complete it. So that makes sense as to why there's not many Helldivers on the Illuminate side. Speaking of major orders, we are now holding Tarsh, Mastia, and soon Helldiver. I suspect the major orders are going to be more intense in terms of making decisions, like defending Helldiver or staying on the Illuminate side. The only reason I believe it's going to be tough with decisions in general is because the Game Master Joel now has a partner. Yes, I said partner because Joel is no longer alone. Yup, about 2 months ago, back in November, I did a little bit of research and found out that the job application for a Game Master was actually removed. If you don't know, months back, the previous community manager, Twinbeard, confirmed at the time that they're picking up a second GM to expand the narrative for Helldivers 2. So, this means Joel wasn't replaced, instead he now has a fellow partner to help him with the Galactic War Map and also with the major orders. The whole idea seems that they want to give players a stronger storyline, and I'm all for that. Next up, let's talk about a melee slot. So I'm not sure if anyone would want this, but you can see there's a meme here essentially on the Helldivers 2 Reddit page where this player posted this right here. You can see that there's a primary, secondary, and then throwable. Then on the bottom we have primary, secondary, grenade, and then melee. So do we need an additional slot there just for melees? I think so. I think that would be really helpful, and it would give you just more things to utilize, right? So like secondaries, for example. Instead of replacing it with a melee, you could have your pistol and your melee. What would be even more cool, not sure if anybody would want this, but being able to use your gun and your melee at the same exact time. That would be awesome. Honestly, if I was able to use a pistol and a melee at the same time, I would feel like a Space Marine. I really would. You know how in Space Marine 2 you have the chainsaw, sword, and the pistol? Yeah, we need something like that. Nonetheless, do you think we need an additional slot or no? Let me know your overall thoughts about this. With that said, let's talk about the Superstore. I'm not sure if anybody has experienced this bug right here, which I haven't personally. Maybe it's a PC related issue only, but you can see this player right here has a store that is currently stuck. So if you have experienced this same exact situation here, then just know there's a fix for it. Right here, the support team member B Vitamin wrote this. If you have a screen that still says it's retrying, try the following to fix that. Delete the content of the Arrowhead app data folder. You can find the folder by pressing Windows plus R and then typing %app data %. This should remove any retrying error. Yeah, so that's definitely got to be a PC related issue only and not something on console. Although if it's on console, I feel like there's no way to really fix that unless you probably send in a support ticket or something. But nonetheless, that is how you fix it. If you didn't know about that, then there you go. Hope that helps out a lot, especially for you guys on PC, because again, I don't believe this is an issue on console and whatnot. On a similar note, if we're talking about the Arrowhead team member Alexus, aka developer, just responded to a member recently saying that he's kind of salty that we didn't unlock the gas mines. Right here he said, "I'm still salty you guys didn't unlock the gas mines. I want to have full mines build, new meta, BTW." To be fair, I'm salty about it as well. I actually enjoyed using the gas mines and found out that the gas mine stratagem is incredible when paired together with the orbital napalm barrage. However, a full mine loadout doesn't seem to be a strong loadout as of right now until they're able to reduce the cooldown on the gas mines. Currently, the gas mines have a 180-second cooldown, so cutting that down to maybe 120 seconds would be suffice. Lastly, we're going to discuss one suggested loadout from the previous video. If you want to be featured on the channel, simply comment down below, even if you have already done so in the past, because right here we have a comment based around a Titanfall loadout from previously. And I haven't played that game in years, by the way. We've got the Liberator Penetrator because in Titanfall there was an R201 rifle. Also, the Liberator Penetrator has medium armor penetration, and we're also using either the grenade pistol or Senator since we're dealing with bugs. We'll use the grenade pistol for just blowing up holes. Stratagem wise, we're using the jetpack and mech, considering in Titanfall you had one. Both of these are great for destroying bug nests or getting out of the way from enemy attacks. Lastly, the 500 kg bomb and eats for hitting and running away from enemies. A 5-star loadout, mainly because you brought up Titanfall. Thanks, dude. With everything being said, this is your Helldivers 2 News. We're now going to check out the top 3 comments. All you have to do to be featured is comment down below, and if you get enough upvotes, you just might be featured. The first comment is from, what if one of the ship upgrades gave us a super bar, where you can order super alcohol with your friends? Yeah, so we can get super wasted on the super destroyer while having a lot of fun with our super citizen title? Yeah, I don't know. But that seems interesting. I don't know. Do you get a damage buff? If so, I'm all for it. The second top comment is from Diago. All I want in the super destroyer is a hose or shower where I can rinse off between missions. I know hellpods are one use, but it is really unsanitary walking around the super destroyer covered in terminate guts. Yeah, yes indeed it is, my friend. Now, to be fair, I'm not sure if it's a feature we need, absolutely, but to be fair, at the same time, I'm not disregarding it. I think it would be an absolute cool feature to see. And lastly, the third top comment is from Shank1013. Make a vehicle flip over button for liberty's sake. The change is simple. Make an upgrade where I can install booster thrusters on the FRV so it flips upright. Maybe even boost forward. You know what? I don't think any Helldiver here has a problem with that, and I think we absolutely need that because, yeah, there's been situations where I flipped the vehicle over, ultimately killing my whole team. Let's not talk about that. But yes, absolutely, we need to have something like that, man. A feature like that would be incredible. There you go. Those are the top 3 comments. If you haven't already, give this video a like. I probably said that at least 3 times in today's video, but nonetheless, click that like button. Not only that, make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications. Also, I appreciate all the support, guys. I know it's been a little rough here and there because I've been skipping out on some days on uploading, just taking a little break here and there. But overall, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about what we talked about in today's video, make sure to ask it down below and I will try to answer it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.